Okay, hello guys, welcome back to another video of mine. So I am finally done with From the Shackles of Art Fight. I was originally planning to make a video on Art Fight, but I have decided not to. I didn't have a bad experience or anything, my iPad cannot handle a lengthy video like that, so instead I'm making this video. And then this video I will be talking about how to fall back in love with art. So this is going to be classified as a let's struggle together video, because it is a part of the art struggle, unfortunately. When you are younger, your art is like the best thing ever. You feel like it's the best thing ever. Because when you're young, you never criticize yourself as you do when you get older. You never kind of look at yourself in a negative light, because it is not, in fact, normal to self-criticize yourself all the time. And I know that a lot of people I know that a lot of people, like myself, overthink and tend to criticize ourselves. I'm a big, massive overthinker. So during Art Fight, I kind of got very, very, I want to say, art blocked, but it was to like an extremely bad extent. Which is not really good, because it was like really affecting my mental. So I wanted to make this video as I try and get myself back into art after such a long and gruesome time that I spent pumping out a bunch of drawings that I kind of now don't really like, because I know I could do better on them. The biggest thing that I'm going to be doing in this is experimenting, and one of that was I had an idea when I was playing Adopt Me, this is combining hobbies. That's what I'm going to call it, combining your hobbies. But I saw this little black tiger that they added in the endangered egg to Adopt Me, and for some reason it just reminded me of my OC Kai. So I just thought, I'm an artist, I can draw Kai with this character and have him react with this animal, and I don't draw animals a lot, so I thought it would be fun to try something new. So I wanted to combine those two hobbies, and that's what I'm doing in this piece that you see me drawing right now. Another tip that I can give is, so if you like play Adopt Me, you can do what I'm doing and combining those two hobbies by giving yourself time to like trade and Adopt Me to get pets that remind you of your OCs, and then drawing your character with them, which I think is pretty fucking fun. It's really cool. Or if you're not into Adopt Me, or you're like into Dress to Impress and stuff, or other games like that, make your OCs in them. Make your characters as accurately as you can in those games. I think it's fun to see your OCs in different universes and how they look in different spectacles. I'm calling them spectacles for some reason, but whatever. Another thing I can say is try something new. Usually when I get art blocked, it's because I'm still in this like same old pattern of guidelining to learn anatomy, and just my art's not how I want my art to look. So in this piece, I have no references at all, which is something I don't usually do. I'm just sketching from the head. As you can see in the beginning, I had like a whole different pose in mind, and then I switched it to kind of push the more, and I've been just working it through sketches. This piece was started a while ago, and I've just not been able to get the nerve to try and draw again because I've been in a rut with my art. So I wanted to kind of come in here and fix that and just kind of work on it slowly, take my time. A lot of people feel like they need to rush and they need to get faster and faster at art. I have like a different approach. I usually hate my art when I'm drawing it fast and just putting out as much as I can. I normally absolutely despise my work when I am not taking my time on it, rather than art that I really take my time on. So I'm trying to get back into that go-to of taking time on my work. And in this, I have been working on this piece for a while, and I don't plan to finish it in this video. This is just going to be another sketch layer for it. I'm just going to work through the sketches and through the phases until I'm happy with it. Which I know for some people isn't going to work because maybe you just can't sit for that long on a piece. And I totally get that because I have those moments where I'm like, okay, now I'm taking too long on this piece and I want to get it out and I want to get it done. But I know it can be beneficial to kind of slow down with your work and just have fun with it. And I tend to really enjoy the process of creating art. I like being able to put on music and just kind of zone out, which is kind of what I'm doing here while I rant about this. I have a big problem with getting my characters to look the same, so I'm trying not to worry about the imperfections as much and just going through, changing what I want to, leaving what I don't want to change. It's kind of hard because I'm playing music in my ear right now, so if I seem a little distracted or I stutter or I mess up my words, that'd probably be why. Another thing I can suggest is a lot of people will tell you to not put on something in like the creative process when you're like working on line art, but you can do for like the mindless tab. That is too low on his nose. What I was gonna say before I got distracted was a lot of professional artists will actually tell you, hey, when you're doing your line art and you're doing your sketches, the reason why it's not coming out how you want to is because you're listening to music, or you're doing something in the background where you're listening to something in the background and it's kind of influencing you a little bit, to where you are not really paying attention to your drawing and more onto what you're listening to in the background. And I do think that getting rid of those distractions could help in some ways, but if you're somebody who, like me, that will critique the fuck out of a drawing, I suggest doing the opposite and actually just vibing out to music and having fun. But that's what works for me because I overthink too much. So it may not work for you. Another thing that you can see me trying in this is I've always had like a need to draw more hair strands. If you see like those big like anime drawings with like all the multiple hair different strands that are shown, where you'd get all these like little intricate pieces of hair, I've always wanted to achieve that in my art in some way, and I haven't been able to, so I'm going to aim to try and do that for this piece. Am I on a different layer? Yes, I am. There's a lot of different ways you can go about doing something like this. And stuff works differently for everybody. So for what works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. Another tip that I want to give that I am also using in this video, is I'm using new brushes. So if you have Procreate like I do, there is this website, and it is, let's see, let me go back to it. You really just have to search Procreate, free Procreate brushes, and it should pull up brushes.work, and it has a bunch of good options for some free brushes. I'm trying out the Boxy free brushes. I'm trying out these. So, yeah. It's kind of fun to try out new brushes and stuff because it can definitely change how you draw. I'm working with this layer with these brushes. I also have quite a few custom brushes. My favorite one is the MT brush blend marker brushes. I really love these, and I also love the Shiba brushes. They are so cool, and I did find them on this site. So that could also be fun, where you just take a little bit of time and experiment with different brushes. Something I like doing in my art is I like cross hatching, cross shading, just what I'm doing right now, to add these bits of detail into the final piece. And I just realized that this needs to continue here. That's why it looks weird. Another thing that can help you when you are going through an art rut, like I am right now, is taking a step back from art entirely. I know it's something that you probably don't want to hear, especially when you want to actively get back into drawing. It can definitely be like, why do I even fucking bother? You know? But that's not at all what I mean by when I say taking a step back from art. What I mean by that is go and do something else that may not be creative. Another hobby. Wanted to pick up pottery, try pottery. Just do something different because it can genuinely help. What I usually go to when I'm like in art block is I really like going and writing more for my characters. So that way I'm at least doing something for my characters, so I don't feel like I'm abandoning them completely. But if you don't like writing, or you just couldn't care less about writing, like I said, try something different. Go roller skate or something. Pick up a different hobby. Watch a movie you've been wanting to watch, you know? There's a lot of other things you can do to kind of get out of that rut. And one of the biggest ones I do recommend is taking a break. Go do something else that you wanted to do that you haven't really gotten a chance to. Does that look okay? His glasses always give me trouble, but it's fine. If something interests you other than art, and your art blocked, I think it's really good. Really good idea to take the time and kind of step back a little bit and say, okay, well, I'm not having fun doing this right now. It's a little annoying to me. Maybe I should just take a little bit of a step back and do something different, and then come back when I know that I can mentally handle it, or I want to draw again. It can definitely help. But when I do that, the only downside is sometimes I kind of start putting off drawing, and I start becoming more fearful of it. What I heard somebody say is when you are drawing and you're not happy with something, you can end up accidentally conditioning your brain into fearing the process of making art instead. And a simple fix for this is, when you're having a tough time drawing, don't close the app immediately. Instead, take and just doodle something silly that makes you laugh. I am really liking this brush set. It's really good. I always forget to flip my canvas. His face is coming out a little wonky, but that's okay. That's a simple fix. Okay. Should have done his face too. That's okay. Another thing you can do that I found that I really liked during Art Fight was make a Spotify playlist for your characters and work on that. If you don't like drawing, writing, not drawing. Of course, you have to somewhat like drawing to be in a state of art rut, or art block, art block, same thing. That didn't turn out too well. So you can make like a Pinterest board or a, like I said, a Spotify playlist for your characters filled with music that they would either like or you are reminded of them. Something like that can slowly reignite that spark to keep drawing them. I know I'm talking about OCs a lot, and for people who don't have OCs, they're gonna be like, what the fuck do I do then? I highly suggest making an OC. If you're bored with your art, I used to be a person that was like, I don't see the point of OCs. I can never get really attached to my characters like that. And then came Ghost, and then I'm like, oh, this is really fun. I don't feel like drawing this other eye because it's in a weird angle, so I'm just gonna do this. Look to your inspirations, your art inspirations when you're on art block. I know that sometimes that's like counterproductive because you just start kind of comparing yourself even when you shouldn't be, because they are at like a completely different skill level, and probably have gone through college for art and stuff like that. Just don't compare your art to other artists. You're just gonna make yourself upset. I know there was a part in my art journey where I had to just get off of like art-based spaces because it was genuinely upsetting me seeing so many talented artists and then comparing my art to them. I'm like, oh, I suck. Which isn't the vibe, so I kind of had to take a minute and step back for a little bit when it came to like interacting on art pages and stuff like that, because it was doing a lot of mental damage to me. And genuinely, is his mouth is off now, great. It genuinely kind of was not good. So another thing you can do is take a break from art social media, interact with different kinds of posts and content. Just don't surround yourself in people that are going to make you feel bad about your art for a little bit. Although you can't keep it like this, for a short while it is okay to do so, especially if you need to for your own mental health. It is definitely better to kind of just surround yourself with different topics if you're in a stage of your art journey to where just you want to cry because nothing looks good. It can definitely hurt seeing very talented people and then looking at your art and like, oh, I see the skill difference and I don't like it. I'm not hating this. I need to get his mouth in. But oops. Another thing you can do, which is what I will do here in a second because I feel a little silly, you can always change things. You can look to, if none of my previous examples are helping, or you just genuinely are in a stage where you feel hopeless, go watch some videos of your favorite creators, look at their art styles, take a minute and kind of see what they're doing and try and apply it into your work. You're not going to get it there on the first try, and it may look silly for a while, but if you push through with it, more often than not, you'll probably actually come up with something that you like. Like maybe you try and mimic Lavender Town's art style, and after a while you're like, oh my god, my art I can kind of mimic her style, you know? You come to a position where you're like, oh, that's super cool, I can do that now. Although I don't really recommend trying to completely copy somebody else's art style, because after a while you're going to be like, well, this isn't original, this isn't me. So what I would suggest doing in that situation would be to take aspects that you like of that art style and apply it to yours. Not take the full art style, but take aspects of it. So that way you just get like little bits and pieces from their art that you really like. Like for me, for the example of Lavender Town, the only reason I do these little cross hatches under the eyes and like on the nose and stuff is because of Lavender Town. Because of an old video that Lavender Town made. So you can see that applied to my work. Mouths are always so complex. Kinda hate drawing them. Maybe that's why I never draw Bunny with the mouth. My heart beat again, heart beat again, heart beat again. Don't be afraid to be cringy. No. If you have a cringy OC, embrace it. On the topic of like OCs and stuff and how to get attached. But on the topic of like OCs and stuff, how I personally get attached to my OCs is genuinely, I just put a part of myself in them. Kai has my awkward social tendency and my neurodivergency, even though he is autistic and I'm not. I do put a lot of my social tendencies into Kai. Into his character, especially with his picky eater side to him, even though he's a cook. So, you can always do that. No one says you can't self-insert a little bit into your characters or fully. Speaking of which, currently the music playing in my ear is I'm Something Else by Something Else YT, another good animator, if you want to go check him out. I like his content, even though people are like, oh, it's cringe. Fuck you. I like it, so that's all that matters. I also really like the song. It has a good kind of vibes to it. We'll do and we'll succeed. By the way, may I just remind people that this is not scripted at all. This is just me talking. Anyway, I do not script anything, nor do I edit anything. So, I do edit a little bit, but I kinda think Kai's freckles should be done. How's this looking?
They weren't
Not
too
bad. And I keep getting interrupted. I am thinking about using these light particles on for his freckles because I think it's easier. What servers? Sorry, I'm responding to a comment. This person was talking, I was talking to this person. They were talking about Adopt Me trading values, which I think are stupid. But I made a post on my TikTok talking about like a server website I was using to help me with values because I genuinely don't fucking understand them. They're so stupid. And the person was like commenting like, oh, well, they're not, morally ethical or whatever, which I'm like, whatever, okay. I don't see why you felt the need to comment. They didn't even like the video either, which is funny as fuck. It is a little funny. I need to finish his hair. I'm getting so distracted. But they were like, oh, it's easy to trade, without values and stuff, and I don't trade with value sites often. The only time I do is when I like really want something, so I kind of conform a little bit where I'm like, okay, I gotta conform, time to conform. Let me use a website to look at values so I know what to offer for this, or else people are gonna scream at me. I'm zoning out. Oh no, this does not match up. See, that's something else that happens when you're an artist. You make things that don't match up sometimes, and then you realize it, and you're like, okay, gotta fix that. Usually if you're being, like, really rushed with your projects, you don't notice that. And I will show you a prime example of that real quick. So you see this last piece right here that I did for Art Fight. You notice anything wrong with it? because I do. Okay, so everything else looks good. The fuck is going on with this finger? I was rushing, so I didn't notice this until way later. But I made this finger as if it were colliding into the skin down here. And instead, I should have made it look like this, because in reality, you can't put your finger, I mean you can, but it's uncomfortable. You can't put your finger to where it's like kind of going over your damn shoulder a little bit when your hand's in this position. And that's because this is a piece that I fucking rushed. This is what I mean by do not rush your pieces. You make mistakes, and then you regret them, and you stare at them, and you're like, oh, I suck. Not a good mindset to have, people, please. Okay, back to Kai. I've done my little rant. I've done my little ranty rant. Okay, let's go ahead and do his neck. Do I want it to feel like it's coming from there, or do I want it to feel like it's coming from there? Men have very sharp features, and I usually draw fucking Kai looking a little too femme. Although I don't think he'd mind it. He has a little sister. He definitely gets roped into playing dress up with his little sister in those itchy ass outfits that he hates. I say that as I am wearing an itchy ass outfit. Y'all know what I'm talking about if you know what I mean by itchy outfits. But, what was I saying again? God dang it. His neck. That's what I was talking about, because I'm working on his neck. It is so hard to draw guys when you know nothing but drawing women. The reason I started drawing Kai was because I wanted a male OC so I could get better at drawing men, because I finally had that urge that was like, let's draw men. And then I kind of just ended up falling in love with Kai. I'm currently drawing Kai while listening to the playlist I made on Spotify for Kai. Another key factor that I always forget about Kai, other than his freckles and his facial hair, is he does like wearing lipstick and makeup. So, I kind of want to start incorporating that more into, like, art of him. And yes, I'm going to do more drawings like this, with my other OCs holding Adopt Me pets, because I think it's kind of fun. That look okay? I do really enjoy the painterly style. When you feel like your art style is boring or just not you, and if that's a problem that you're having, and that's the cause of your art block, I feel like what you can do to fix that is look up to things that get you inspired to draw, like famous artists or just stuff like that, and then go in and take little bits of their art that you really like and try and incorporate it into an art style. That's advice that I heard from Lavender Town, who is a bigger artist, so I do find that her tips that she gives do often quite help a lot. I'm having so much fun drawing this, and it's been such a long time since I've had fun drawing something. But yeah. And Kai's setting for his story, I'm gonna move on to talking about this because it can help. So just hear me out for a second. Kai's setting for his story is more realistic. There's no like super unrealistic things about Kai's world. People have natural hair colors and stuff like that. But if you notice with Kai's freckles, his freckles are white. And that isn't a realistic, natural, occurring thing. Well, that is because I have made a artistic interpretation that Kai must have white freckles. He must. It's imperative. And do not mind the fact that I always forget about said freckles. Cough, 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 cough. But when you have like details like that, like small little details about your characters that you really like or you just always forget about, you can find fun in it because you can look and you're like, God damn it, I forgot those again, and I'm almost forgetting his freckle hair? Facial hair. Freckle hair. Ah yes, freckle hair 2020. But having like little details like that can really help you like get attached to a new character, because every time you look at something you're going like, damn it, I forgot the fucking that again. And I do that so much in Kai's work, and like pieces I do of Kai, so it's kind of like a joke to me at this point, because I'm like, god damn it, I made this OC, I should know like every detail of him. No, I do not. Sometimes things just slip my mind. I constantly forget Rome's glasses. I constantly forget Kai's glasses too. Just like his freckles and his facial hair. Like little details like that I'm always forgetting, but they're like so important to me, so I will not change them. No matter how much I'm paid. They're staying. Okay, that needs to be like opacity down moment. There we go. You can see I'm having so much fun on this because I'm taking my time. Let's look at the time I've taken on this. I'm already at the time that I was on that other one completed. See what I mean? It's turning out so much better because I'm taking my damn time. Let your characters cook, guys. Let your characters cook. Give those babies some time in the oven. They need a little time to cook. I always have a problem drawing ears. They give me so many issues, which is fine. But I wanted to show that he does have piercings. Can I get away with that? I think I can. If you don't have built-in pen pressure to your brushes, or you're using your fingers to draw, I would recommend something fun that's also going to annoy the shit out of you, adding in it yourself. By manually thickening and darkening the lines. It can also draw out the time that you're taking on a piece, but I feel like when you don't have pen pressure, it helps so much, especially when you start learning, like, okay, this is how I want this to look compared to this, and so on and so forth. Yes, I'm doing this at, like, such a weird strand of hair. Whatever. But just having fun with it and not letting yourself have those like built-in like worries. Another thing is make it just for yourself. You don't have to post everything you draw, even if it makes you feel a little guilty for not posting. Nobody says you have to post everything you draw. You can make stuff for just yourself and just your eyes only, and it's completely fine and acceptable to do so. I have a problem where I forget this, so if you see art on any of my socials, guaranteed it's posted. That's another reason why I don't really want to post. The reason why I didn't really want to post another art fight video this year, even though I've finished and I've done all my attacks and I did all my goals and such. I just got so burnt out doing so that I'm not really proud to show anybody those pieces. I didn't have a bad time. Everybody liked what I drew for them, to my knowledge, and I got acknowledgement on every single one, so there was so many great people I drew for. But next year I'm getting them back and I am doing 1,000,000 times better because I'm going to be pacing myself better. This year I went in with a goal of drawing 31 pieces in total, plus revenges. I only did one revenge because only one person attacked me before I got to them, and the rest of the attacks I received were revenges from other people that I drew for them, which made me really happy to see that so many people liked my art, that I did for them enough to where they decided to revenge and draw one of my characters. It made me really happy, like genuinely. So it was so fun to see. I have to remember that I toned down his face, so this isn't gonna go all the way over. Y'all remind me. Like, you guys can talk through the camera to me. I am zoning out a little bit while I'm drawing this, mainly because I'm ranting, and I do have a habit of enjoying ranting, even if I'm just talking to myself. So I guess that's why I'm so good at talking to a camera without getting weirded out, because I do it so much in daily life already. It's quite easy. Even if the jokes I make and stuff like that would only land to me and only I think it's funny, that's fine, because you guys are getting an authentic version of me. Of course it's not like how I act fully in person. I'm very soft-spoken in person. Guaranteed if any of y'all met me in person, you'd be like, what the fuck did you say? And I'd have to repeat myself, because I am very soft-spoken, and I know it comes across in videos as well, a little bit at least, because I have to tone my mic up so much. Okay. His ear's a little small, but his head's kind of tilted up. Another thing you can have fun with is the liquefy tool. If you're in Procreate, go to push, take distortion and put none, and then you can kind of move your character around and push some things around. So if you're having problems with something, go do that. It can help you. Already pieces. See, this mouth, I feel like I can push it more, so I'm gonna take and liquefy. I'm gonna bring my brush down to where I don't mess with the whole face. I'm just going to push the mouth around a little bit. If that doesn't work, because that didn't for me that time, you can just, I'm getting those freckles too. You can just go here I like tilting my mouse just a little bit. I don't know why. I just do. I like the positioning of this one quite a bit, so I'm gonna keep it like that. And just kind of mess with it until I have like a difference I'm happy with. I think it just needs to be bigger in this direction. Maybe a little wider. Yeah, there we go. And another thing I always forget, flip your canvas. I'm having so much fun on this.